What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, thanks for coming back. So it's Sunday again, and like I've been saying, I'm trying to do these videos every Sunday. So today we're going to talk about a few topics that you guys left in the last couple of videos that I want to touch up on. So let's get right on to it. Okay, so since last Sunday I talked about the front 2017 Plus bumpers, I'm going to talk about the rear bumper. That's one of the questions that I got asked on that last video that I uploaded. So let me talk about it real quick. So if you guys didn't know, I also offer the 2017 Plus rear bumper swap kit brackets for the OBS trucks, and it's actually a pretty easy install. As far as the actual brackets, they just mount in place on any truck OBS, so F-150, F-250, F-350. It's a complete bolt-on. The only thing that you will have to do is trim the bumper on the side. These things stick out about till there, so you gotta trim like 2-3 inches on it and trim up the plastic right there. But other than that, it's a really easy install. I know that on previous videos I said that I didn't like the way that it looked, but it's actually grown on me a lot, and I'm a pretty big fan now. So I gotta get all the remaining plastics that I need for it, as well as the lights to completely get it done. But it's on there and I like it, and I think it's gonna stay. By the way, I also want to say thanks to all of you guys and your nice comments that you left in the last video talking about how I wasn't able to get that shop and your wishes of me getting a better one. Thank you, I really appreciate that, and I know we will. We just gotta wait and be a little patient. I've gotten this suggestion before, and about fitting the crew cab in the garage kind of sideways like this, and I have thought about that, but it actually takes a lot of space sideways too, and it would take a lot of space of my working area in here, and I like having a little bit of space to work on. And the other problem with that too would be that I would still have to have my parts truck in here, and that's actually not even the problem with that. The actual problem would be that, and I might kind of be saying more than I wanted to say, but I want to actually do a body swap. So I would have to pull both cabs off of both trucks and swap them, and that just won't happen in the garage, unfortunately. Like I said, I'd rather take my time and be able to do what I want to do to this thing properly and right. Like I said, I want to, because like I've said before, like I want this to be a good daily driver that has modern features, you know, and that will be reliable. Well, I guess saying reliable and a 6.0 might not go together, but anyways, at least that's the plan. So like I said, we'll wait on this, we'll get to it, but for now we'll work on what we can. So the next question. So one of the things that I also get asked every now and then, and someone actually dropped that question in the last Sunday's video, and it was about the 05 Plus swap, but specifically about the gearbox and the turning radius on this thing. So for those of you that don't know, when I did the swap, I also went to the 05 through 07 gearbox and the steering, and I did that for a few reasons. One, I wanted a newer steering gearbox on there, and I didn't want to run the swap pivot arm. So for those of you that don't know, for the steering, it doesn't just bolt in. The drag link doesn't just bolt into the pivot arm. You actually have to rim the pivot arm on your OBS, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I went ahead and swapped the gearbox. Now, another great benefit to doing that is that you actually get way tighter steering. Well, I guess the radius on your turn, it's way tighter than the OBS. Now, I really wish I would have measured it before I did the swap, but I can tell you this though, my truck on that intersection, you really couldn't do a U-turn unless you went like super wide around there. With the new box, it can easily do that U-turn with room to spare, so it does help a lot. And overall, I'm really happy with it. After I'm done with all the swap, I actually have a lot of upgrades to the steering and to the brake and all that stuff that I'm gonna be doing to this truck. A few of them are gonna be actually buying new components for it, because when I swapped, because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, I basically threw junkyard parts in there. So the steering box from a junkyard, the power steering pump also from a junkyard, But now that I've more than tested this thing, I think it deserves some new parts. So I'm gonna order a new power steering pump and a new gearbox. Hopefully, maybe one from Redhead. I've been thinking about that, just to kind of really tighten everything up and have it feel really nice. And I also want to come up with a steering stabilizer for this thing. I think that would be really worthwhile. Not that it needs it, but I just want to see how much of a difference it really makes. Okay guys, so the last question that I want to talk about is if I'm ever going to branch out into other brands. And honestly, yes, and I'm really excited about that. Now I don't know when that's gonna happen. It's definitely not gonna happen until I get a shop, but I really want to play with the OBS Chevys. I love those trucks. I just like the 90s trucks, to be honest with you guys. Must be because I'm a 90s kid, but I really like the OBS Chevys, and I really want to do a solid axle swap kit for those things. So that is something that I definitely want to get into. I would also want to mess with a square body, but definitely before I mess with the square body, I would go with a dent side, because that is definitely a bucket list truck for me. I have a lot of stuff that I want to do. It's just right now I feel really limited by the situation, but we're trying to do the best we can with that. But yeah, and as far as Rams, I really want to do something with the Cummins, but I don't know if I would do it. But I don't know if I would do it in a Ram. Definitely a first gen for sure. But I don't really like anything other than a first gen when it comes to the Rams. Love the engine, love the Cummins, but that's about it. But yeah, definitely in the near future, if I come across, which is basically impossible, but if I come across a cheap first gen, I would definitely like to mess with one of those. But yeah, something that I think would be super cool is to work with a OBS Chevy. So again, if you guys like that idea, and if you, I know that most of you like me like Ford. Now I'm not brand specific, I like pretty much anything out there. I appreciate cars, and more than anything I like working on them, so I'm not super brand loyal, although definitely Ford and OBS is my preference. But anyways, if you guys would like or are excited for me to work on a OBS Chevy, definitely leave a comment down below. But like I said guys, I want these to be super short videos, just 8-10 minutes most. But yeah guys, if you enjoy this, if you like me answering just questions, definitely leave comments down below for next week's video, and what you want me to talk about, because again, the more suggestions that you leave, I'll answer those in the video and try to go into more detail about them. So anyways, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.